to do with my stomach then. It's nearly lunchtime and I've not had my lunch, so that's why my stomach's going a bit. Apologise for that. Hello everybody, it's Mick from Jester Bushcraft and welcome to another video. In today's video I become the novice photographer once more, and it's been several months now since I got into photography, so I thought it'd be an ideal opportunity to go through all my kit and show you what I've amassed over those few months. Having just put all the kit together for this video, it made me realise how much kit I have actually managed to gather together. But it's all kit that I've been using, and I'd just like to go through it now and show you what I've got. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome along, and if you're interested in wildlife, nature, photography, outdoor activities, videos like that, then please consider subscribing by clicking on the icon below, and don't forget to click on that bell icon so you don't miss out on my next video. So as I say, I've become the novice photographer again for this video, and it's been several months now since I took up photography. It's been a really enjoyable journey so far. I've learnt loads, and as the video suggests, I've amassed quite a lot of kit. I was quite surprised once I got all the kit together for this video that the amount of stuff I actually have. So without further ado, let's get into the video and I'll show you all my kit. So to start with, we're going to start with the bags that I've got. This is the Low Pro Photo Hatchback 16 litre AW, which is all weather. All weather being that in the bottom there is a waterproof cover that goes on. It's only a small bag, like I say, 16 litres, but I just wanted something that was small and compact that I could just take out for a day's photography. Still have room in the top to put in there. I've just got a little foam seat pad, but I can put waterproofs in there, a bit of food, bit of water, and a few other bits and pieces. There's a pocket down the front, split pocket, pockets in the side for water bottles, and the all important compartment is on the back, which is just a zip like that, and it opens up and it's got the camera compartment. Now this actually does come out, it's velcroed in very securely, so that does come out, and then that just does that. Draw cord, which doesn't seem to be drawing. Yeah, it does draw cord eventually. So yeah, that's that. So that's my camera bag that I've been using so far. I've also got this that I bought, which is sort of a foam padded bag, similar to what I've just shown you. Again with a drawstring, which does work. Need to look at that. It's got compartments inside, and that basically I can use to put a lens in or my camera, and I can put that into any other rucksack that I might be taking. If I'm using a bigger rucksack, then that's what that's for. You'll have seen this in previous videos. This is my voltaic solar panel. It's only a small solar panel, but it's very sturdy, it's weatherproof, and inside it has the power bank. I've got various connectors for different appliances in there, leads, and that's just handy to, I can strap it on the back of any backpack that I may have, and that's always going to keep my camera batteries charged using different adapters that I've got, my phone, GoPros, things like that. So that's just another piece of equipment that I use sometimes when I go on my photography trips. Now I just want to point out at this point that a lot of my kit, probably 90% of my kit, is all second hand. I've only bought a few pieces brand new, which I'll show you shortly, but and I've also been very fortunate to have been lent some quite expensive kit in the way of lenses. So I have been very lucky in that respect. But as I build up my kit over time, then obviously I'll buy my own lenses and then I'll hand back what I've borrowed. So with that said, let's move on to the camera and the lenses. I've never had a DSLR camera before, and I did quite a bit of research. I decided to go for Nikon. It's just what I decided to go for, and I've been very pleased with it. It's the Nikon D7000. It's only a 16 megapixel camera, which is fine. Maybe further down the line, as I get more into my photography, I'll upgrade this to a better, maybe the D7200, which I believe is 24 megapixels. I'm not sure. But for now, it's great for me just to learn the basics of photography. It does everything I need to do, and I'm really enjoying using it, so that's good. The lens that I've currently got on there is the DX AFS Nikkor 55 to 200 millimeter. It's the 4 to 5.6 GED, and it's the VR version. So that's the camera and the first lens. The first lens I actually bought was this. This is the Nikkor 135 millimeter 2.8. I did a lot of research on this again. It's quite an old lens. It's quite an old lens, but it's a good quality lens. It's a prime lens, but this is the first one I bought because the camera didn't come with a lens, just to get me going. I used it, I really enjoyed using it. It's really easy to use, good quality, takes some really good photos. But since then, I've not really used it, so I need to start using this more often. I think it's more of a portrait lens, I believe, which is not something I'm particularly interested in, but it is a good lens nonetheless. I actually had two of these, and I sold one of them. So yeah, I do need to start using that a bit more often. If you've got one of these, then please let me know what you think of it. But yeah, it's a really good quality lens, that. The next lens we've got, Nikon again, obviously. This is the AFS Micro 105 millimeter. This is a macro lens, and this was lent to me by a very good friend of mine, a very good family friend, who's a sort of semi-professional photographer, and I went out on a trip with him just to take some photographs of a bird nature reserve locally, and he let me borrow that, so cheers for that, Alan. We'll be coming back to you in a minute. I've been using that, really enjoyed using that. It's great for close-up photography, obviously, because it's a macro lens, and that's something I'm interested in. Insects, plants, fungi, stuff like that. So this is really good. And also, I've found that just taking photos, sort of, as long as we're at the right distance, I can have that on the camera and I can still get pictures like I did recently of a squirrel. I used this lens and it came out great. So yeah, good lens. Another lens that I've been lent is this one. This is because I was into my wildlife photography. Another friend of mine who is another semi-professional photographer, he's very much into his wildlife photography, and he said I could borrow this. This is the AF VR 80 to 400 millimeter lens. So this got me that little bit closer than the 55 to 200 for when I was taking photographs of the buzzard and the kestrels. So that came in really handy for that, and I really enjoyed using that. However, so thank you very much to Peter for letting me borrow that. However, we're back to Alan again. On that same trip, when we went to the nature reserve, he let me borrow this beast. This one is the AFS 200 to 500 millimeter. All the bells and whistles, VR, sport mode. It's just a great lens. And again, this just got me that little bit nearer than the 400. And of course, this being on a crop sensor camera, it multiplies the magnification by 1.5 again, I believe. So, I mean, it's a lump to carry around, but I just had it on my monopod on there and slung it over my shoulder, and that was really good. Really enjoyed using that, and I'm hoping to get out again shortly and use that. I did manage to get some good photos at the nature reserve of the little egret and herons and kestrels. So yeah, really like using that. So that's another great lens. So there I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lenses, which isn't bad for a novice photographer. And it's not as daunting. At the beginning it was like, ooh, blimey, I was scared to hold this. But once you get into using it, once you start getting used to shutter speeds to use at the right time and how to change the lighting with the shutter speeds, then no matter what lens you're using, it's pretty much the same principle. So yeah, like I say, really enjoying using these, and for a novice photographer, I'm very grateful to the people who've lent me these lenses, and I must look after them. So that's the lenses. So what should we move on to next? Let's have a look at all my tripods. So when it comes to my tripods, I first started out with the tripod that the camera's currently on. It was a really cheap tripod that I got from a car boot sale, but it works really well and it's fairly lightweight, to be honest. And what I did do is I just adapted it by putting a ball mount on there, just to give me a bit more manoeuvrability with the camera. I've seen a lot of people using the ball mounts, and everybody raves about them. So I just bought myself a relatively cheap one off Amazon, and I just stuck that on top of the tripod, and that works really well. And I've got a little clamp that I just use to hold my phone, which is what I'm using now. So that's the first tripod. Then I went for this one, which again I bought second hand. It's carbon fibre, but the reason I went for this one, it was very small for a reasonable sized tripod, so it was ideal for going in my backpack that I showed you earlier. But it also has a detachable monopod, which, if I'm honest, I used this more than I use this. But as I get more into my photography, I'm going to be sort of filming myself doing the photography, and this is probably going to be the tripod I use to have the video recording camera. Did you hear my stomach then? It's nearly lunchtime and I've not had my lunch, so that's why my stomach's going a bit. Apologise for that. So yeah, this was the first carbon fibre tripod that I got. Got it for a good price. I think I paid 25 quid for it. But this is the bit I use the most, the monopod. It's a bit short, but it's all right for me doing the wildlife photography, because I tend to sort of get down on one knee and then just balance it, and it just works for me. So yeah, so that's my carbon fibre small tripod. I then went out on the now infamous bird sanctuary outing with Alan, and as we were leaving, he said, "Oh, I've got something else for you," and it was this. This is it's a Manfrotto tripod. It's not carbon fibre, so it is quite weighty, but it's good quality. It's the 55X Pro B. Whereas the carbon fibre one that I've got has the twist lock, this has the, which I prefer if I'm honest. Really sturdy, really strong, really good tripod. It's got the usual where it sort of locks into position. This central column up and down, but then comes out and then comes out at an angle. And again, I took the original head, I don't know what you call it, head mount that was on there. It was one that had two handles, and it was more for video, for like a video camcorder, I think. So all I did is I took that off, and I've just added my own, again, ball mount, another cheap and cheerful. It wasn't that cheap, it was probably mid-range ball mount on there, and that's just made a really good tripod now. So I was really pleased with that. So once again, you can see why he's a good family friend, can't you? Another great tripod. I've used that a few times, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It's rock solid. So that's that. To go with the tripods, I also bought this. This is one of the items I bought brand new. This is a pig iron L bracket. It's got the Arca Swiss sort of fitting on the bottom, so that fits into my tripods that have got the Arca Swiss clamp on, so I can do portrait and landscape photography. So that just fits onto the base of my DSLR, and it just allows me to flick the camera around really easily, and it's also very secure in the tripod. So that's one of the only items that I've bought that was actually brand new. Before we carry on, I just have to give a quick mention to my trusty Freevision Vilta M gimbal. This is what I use nearly all the time for my videos. It's one that's for a phone, not for a camera. You can use a GoPro in there, but it's ideal for my iPhone. I use this all the time. I really like it. Again, another second-hand purchase. I've just attached a little tripod on there so that I can just place it on the ground and do my B-roll walking past the camera shots. So I can't recommend this highly enough. It's a brilliant piece of kit. It's so easy to use. There's only the two controls here, the little thumb wheel, and then you've got the little buttons there, and that's all you use really to control the whole lot. Really good piece of kit, and really like that. So when I first bought my DSLR, again, it was second hand. It came with a few accessories, which I'll just show you now. Obviously it came with the battery charger. I did actually purchase, again second hand, 2 extra batteries, so I've now got 3 batteries for the camera, so I should never run out of power. Although I have found whenever I go out on a typical trip to a nature reserve or something like that, 1 battery is usually enough, but I just thought, just to be sure, just to make sure I've got, because if I ever do any filming or anything like that, that might drain the battery. So 2 additional batteries just to add to it. It also came with the little remote, which was a nice little addition. I've used that a couple of times for some astral photography, just pictures of the moon, and that came in really useful because you don't want to be moving the camera when you're doing that kind of photography. So that was a nice little added feature that came with it. I also got this, which I didn't really know what it was, to be honest. It's basically a lens cleaning kit, and it's brilliant. It's really good. It comes with 2 pens. There's a little one and a larger one, and a couple of cloths inside the little pouch as well. Basically, this has got a little brush that comes out, and then in the end there, you sort of twist that end, take the cap off, and there's a little carbon pad there, which you use to just do circular motions on the lens. People are going to be shouting at me now saying, "You don't do it that way," but I think you do, and it just really cleans the lens really well. Just go over it with the brush first, get all the dust off, and then any thumbprints, just give this a little circular motions, and it really cleans the lenses really well. So having not known what that was, I was really pleased that it came with it. So I've used that loads of times on all my lenses. Brilliant, really good. Again, all the links, or as many links as I can find for all these different pieces of kit, will all be in the description below. So if you want to take a further look at any of these or purchase them, then by all means use the links below. It also came with, I'll be honest, I've not really looked into this much, and I have sort of used it, but I don't think I'm using it correctly, so it's something I need to learn. So if you can tell me more about this, then please leave a comment below. This is a 52mm, so it fits some of my lenses, not all of them. It's a Hoya Pro 1 digital filter, circular PL. Now at the time I just thought it was a filter that just went on the front of the lens, and it was a filter, protected the lens, and also it has a bit of a tint to it. But then I noticed that it sort of, once you fixed it on, it still spins, and I've just thought it was, I don't know, just a feature of the filter. But I've now discovered that as you twist the end of the filter, it changes the sort of filterage. I've just made that word up. It changes the filterage of the image as it sort of darkens it, brightens it. So I'm pretty sure that's a handy piece of kit. I don't think they're cheap, 20 odd quid, something like that. But I need to learn how to use that properly. So if you've got any advice on this, please leave a comment below, because I'd be interested to know more about that. I do have other just plain filters that I've got on one of, I think it's on my 55 to 200mm lens. It's just a plain sort of filter that goes on the front, which has got a bit of a tint to it. So that was that. I also got this, which came with the camera. It's a CamCaddy camera battery charger. Basically, that spring loaded. You've got two contacts in there that you can adjust the width of depending on your battery, and then you place your battery. See the little pins that's in there, that then goes in. There's a little USB, and I can plug that into my power bank and charge my batteries using my solar panel. However, this particular battery doesn't fit into that. The connectors just don't make contact. I think you have to buy a cradle for this to go into that, and I can't find the cradle for this CamCaddy. So if anybody can help me out on that, then please let me know. So that was that. I did use it on my old camera batteries and it worked perfect. It was really good. I've got a couple of lens cleaning cloths, like a leathery sort of type one and a microfiber one. That's just the dead cat that goes on my phone when I'm using the gimbal, and I've got another larger microfiber towel which I can use to sort of wipe the camera down. Oh, and the final thing is this light. This is just a small light that I can use. It's quite bright and it's dimmable. You can see it's quite bright, and I can dim that to whatever, and I can basically use it to it's a light for highlighting. I don't use it a great deal, but I do use it sometimes. If it's dark in here, you can see that side of my face is quite bright and this side isn't. It sort of balances it out. Obviously I wouldn't have it like that, that's horrible. But you can do it so that it balances the light when you're making videos. So that's another piece of kit that I've got. I've also got this, which is my lapel mic. It's a Boya, I can't see the model on there, but it's a Boya lapel mic. That's another piece of kit that's also included in my photography equipment. And that pretty much sums everything up. So even though I'm a novice photographer, I've already amassed quite a lot of kit, all of which I do use. There's not one piece of kit that I never use. Maybe the 135mm Nikkor prime lens, I need to use that more. But as I get into different styles of photography, maybe I'll use that a bit more. So if you've got any of those items of kit and you've got any advice or tips or hints, then please leave a comment down below. If you think there's anything maybe I should be using, then please again leave a comment below. All of my better photos that I've taken so far during my photography journey do end up on my Instagram account, which is just Jester Bushcraft. So please consider following me on there, and I'll return the favour. And that's about it really. I just thought I'd give you a bit of a run through of the kit I'm using as a novice photographer. I'm slowly building up my kit. I'll no doubt be buying more. Well, I know I will, because I'm looking out for a 18 to 55mm lens, which I'm going to be using more for landscape photography. So that's going to be a lens I'll probably be treating myself to, maybe for my birthday, 4th of December, or Christmas, which is coming up shortly. And other than that, I do use a GoPro. I have a couple of GoPros that I use. I'm looking at the GoPro Karma Grip, which is another stabilizer like the one I've got there, but it's specifically for the GoPro. And that is something I want to start using more when I'm going out on my wild camps and hikes, because I just think it's a bit lighter and it's not quite as much of a faff, and it's all built in. I just think it'll be a good addition to my photography equipment. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then please give us a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, then please click on the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click on that bell icon so you don't miss out on my next video. If you've got any hints or tips or advice, please leave a comment below. I really look forward to reading those. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.